So we studied this interesting place in Nairobi, Kenya, where over the course of 20 years, car repair mechanics came together. So these are car repair mechanics that have their own shop. And in 2001, there were 15, and in 2019, 105 identical businesses. And we tried to understand why are they all there. And what we found is that they create a village-like social welfare system. They invest together, they share knowledge. If there is a bereavement in their families, they pool funds together. They save money together, and they have a no competition clause so that all of them collectively rise together, and that they survive despite the difficult conditions that they're in. Okay, so there are two approaches and two communities that really mattered here. The first one is sort of an international development crowd, practitioners, entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, but also NGOs, policymakers, etc. And the way we did that is work together with Joel Bothello, who's done work in South Africa by writing a piece for the Stanford Social Innovation Review with a focus on sort of informal economies, more general, and how informal economies can be supported. And that was quite successful. We later on presented the work at the UNDP, which then also led to a grant application. The second part is also with Joel, who has done work in South Africa, to kind of think about, well, how could we communicate with our informants? In his case, the inhabitants of Delft, which is a suburb in South Africa, and in my case, sort of the car mechanics in Dagoretti Corner in Nairobi. And we were kind of thinking about, could there be an experimental sort of format? And we settled on a graphic novel. So we worked together with graphic novel artists in Kenya and in South Africa, and gave them all of the autonomy possible to come up with a story that would resonate with these individuals. So that meant we kind of call it social science fiction, if you will. So we allowed them to do the entire a separate research process essentially. And then we gave feedback into what have we seen on the ground, what have they seen, and then they developed a story out of it, and a very compelling narrative. And that is something that we are now about to publish and then also distribute not only at universities, but also to our informants. So what I realized, having tried several outreach activities with this work, is that we as academics tend to overinvest our time in building out our academic network, right? To get published, to understand the publication game, etc. But what we completely neglect is the network outside of academia, right? With policymakers, entrepreneurs, international organizations, whatever it may be in your case. And so I had a network in place, and I continue to cultivate that, even though on a very low flame, if you will. And I activated that when the paper came out, and then I got introduced to the UNDP, to a very specific lab in the UNDP, presented the work there to 50 individuals, and it was really well received, led to further work down the line and a grant application. And it just showed me, wow, these types of networks take time to cultivate. And even though we overinvest so much on the academic side, we really need to balance that and put much more time into creating long-lasting, trusting relationships outside of academia.